Please, don't make me marry a man I've never even met." Those were the last words. 22-year-old Clara Bennett whispered, before her family put her on a westbound train with nothing but a worn suitcase, a wedding dress, and a letter bearing the name of a stranger. She believed she was being sent away to a life without love, but she had no idea that the lonely cowboy waiting for her in Montana would give her something far more precious than a wedding ring. Before we begin this emotional Old West story, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who loves heartfelt cowboy stories, and subscribe to the channel for more unforgettable tales. Now let's get started. In the spring of 1887, Clara Bennett stood alone on the dusty platform of a small Montana town, clutching a letter so tightly that her fingers trembled. 3 days earlier, her father had told her the family could no longer afford to keep her. Their farm had failed, debts were piling up, and Clara's younger brothers needed food. Then came the solution her father had arranged with a wealthy rancher named Thomas Reed. Clara would marry his son, Ethan Reed, a cowboy she had never met. There had been no courtship, no promises, and certainly no love. "You'll have a home," her father had said. "That is more than we can give you." Clara had wanted to argue, but she knew the truth. Her family was desperate. So she boarded the train. When she finally arrived, she expected to see a cruel, arrogant man waiting for his new bride. Instead, a tall cowboy stood beside a weathered horse, wearing a dusty brown hat and a faded blue shirt. He looked to be about 30 years old. His face was serious, but his eyes were unexpectedly gentle. "Miss Bennett?" he asked. Clara nodded nervously. "I'm Ethan Reed." She waited for him to mention the wedding. He didn't. He simply took her suitcase and said, "You must be tired. The ranch is another hour away." During the ride, Clara noticed something strange. Ethan never asked about the money her father had received for the marriage. He never talked about what she owed him. Instead, he asked if she was hungry. Clara quietly admitted she was. Ethan stopped at a small roadside cafe and ordered her a warm meal. "You don't have to pay me back," he said when she reached for her purse. Clara stared at him. Nobody had ever given her anything without expecting something in return. At the ranch, Ethan showed her a small bedroom with clean sheets, a wooden wardrobe, and a window overlooking the fields. "This is yours," he said. Clara looked confused. "What about the wedding?" Ethan removed his hat. "Only if you want it," she blinked. "But our families arranged it." "They arranged it," Ethan replied. "Not us." Clara felt tears gathering in her eyes. She had spent her entire life being told what she must do. For the first time, someone was asking what she wanted. Over the following weeks, Clara stayed at the ranch while Ethan kept his distance. He never forced her to marry him. He never demanded affection. He worked from sunrise until sunset, caring for horses and cattle, repairing fences, and helping his aging ranch hands. Clara began helping in the kitchen and garden. Slowly, she discovered that Ethan was not the cold cowboy she had imagined. One evening, a storm swept across the valley. Clara heard a horse screaming outside and ran toward the barn. Ethan was struggling to calm a frightened mare. Clara stepped forward and spoke softly to the animal. Somehow, the horse settled. Ethan looked at her with surprise. "You've got away with them," Clara smiled. "Animals don't judge you." Ethan looked down. "Neither do I." Those words stayed with her. As the weeks passed, Clara and Ethan became friends. He taught her how to ride, how to mend a fence, and how to recognize approaching storms. She taught him how to laugh again. But Clara eventually learned why Ethan had agreed to the arrangement. Years earlier, his younger sister had died during a harsh winter. Their father blamed Ethan for not getting help quickly enough. Since then, Ethan had carried guilt like a heavy stone. He had stopped believing he deserved happiness. Clara finally understood why he kept people at a distance. One night, she found Ethan sitting alone on the porch. "You don't have to carry everything by yourself," she said. Ethan looked at her. "Neither do you." Clara sat beside him. "My whole life, people have decided what I should be. A daughter, a burden, a wife. Nobody ever asked what I wanted." Ethan's voice was quiet. "What do you want now?" Clara looked toward the moonlit fields. "I want a home where I belong." Ethan swallowed hard. "Then stay." Clara turned toward him. "As your wife?" He shook his head. As Clara, if someday you choose to become my wife, I'll be the luckiest man alive. But I don't want you because our families made a deal. I want you because you choose me. Clara cried then, not from sadness, but because nobody had ever given her a choice before. Months later, Clara's father arrived, at the ranch expecting to see an unhappy daughter trapped in a marriage. Instead, he found Clara laughing beside Ethan as they prepared dinner for the ranch hands. Her father looked surprised. "You're happy?" he asked. Clara smiled. "For the first time in my life." Her father lowered his eyes, ashamed. "I thought I was giving you a future," Clara gently replied. "You gave me a chance to find one." That evening, Ethan walked Clara to the edge of the pasture. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a simple silver ring. "I bought this months ago," he said, "but I never wanted to give it to you until you were free to say no." Clara looked at the ring, then at him. "And what if I say yes?" Ethan smiled. "Then I'll spend the rest of my life trying to deserve it." Clara placed her hand in his. "Yes, Ethan, not because they sent me here, not because we were supposed to marry. I choose you." Ethan slipped the ring onto her finger, and for the first time, Clara understood what he had truly given her. It wasn't a ranch. It wasn't a wedding ring. It wasn't even security. He had given her something she had never had before, a choice. And in that choice, Clara found dignity, friendship, love, and finally, a place she could call home. Their wedding took place beneath the old cottonwood tree that autumn, with the ranch hands standing proudly behind them in the Montana mountains, glowing beneath the setting sun. Clara wore the same wedding dress she had carried on the train, but this time it felt completely different. She was no longer a frightened girl being sent away to marry a stranger. She was a woman standing beside the man she had chosen with her whole heart. Years later, whenever someone asked Ethan how he had met his wife, he would smile and say, "Her family sent me a bride." Then he would look at Clara and add, "But I was lucky enough to meet the woman." And Clara would always answer, "He didn't give me the life they promised. He gave me the freedom to choose my own." Thank you for staying with this beautiful Old West love story. If Clara and Ethan's journey touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional cowboy stories filled with love, sacrifice, second chances, and unforgettable endings. Until the next story, remember, sometimes the greatest gift a person can give you is not a promise, a fortune, or even a home. It is the freedom to choose where your heart truly belongs.